Welcome to my channel, HD Rare Coins 111. In this video I tell you about the United States of America Kennedy dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. The Kennedy half dollar is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics, and it has a fascinating history behind it. While most people are familiar with the modern-day Kennedy half dollar, you may not know that there are rare versions of this coin, especially those that were minted in specific years and locations. One of the most intriguing pieces in this series is the Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Its design, featuring the profile of Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse, quickly made it a symbol of American history and pride. But while these coins were produced in large numbers, certain rare versions have emerged over time, particularly from specific minting locations. Now, let's take a deeper look into the rare Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar. This coin is not just any regular half dollar, it's part of a limited run that was minted under unique circumstances. It's a piece of history that has come to represent both the legacy of President Kennedy and the craft of coin production. What makes this particular coin so valuable is its scarcity. The Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar was minted in limited quantities, and over the years, many of these coins were either lost, melted down, or circulated heavily, leaving only a handful in pristine condition. The rarity of this coin combined with its historical significance has driven its price into the stratosphere. As with many rare coins, the condition of the Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar plays a significant role in its value. Coins that have been well preserved and graded highly by professional numismatists are worth far more than those that show significant signs of wear or damage. A well-preserved example of the Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar, especially one that is graded as MS-67 or higher, can fetch a substantial price at auction. But just how much is this coin worth? The Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar has seen incredible growth in value over the years, with some coins fetching jaw-dropping prices. In fact, if you manage to find a high-grade version of this rare coin today, you could be looking at a price that most collectors only dream of. Some of these coins have sold for staggering amounts, reflecting the growing demand for rare, historical coins. In terms of the most recent sales, the Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar has been known to fetch up to $167,000. Yes, you heard that right, $167,000. This price reflects not only the rarity of the coin but also its connection to American history and its status as a prized collectible among numismatists. The Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar is more than just a coin. It is a tangible piece of history that embodies the legacy of John F. Kennedy and the coinage of the United States. It represents both a moment in time and the skill of American minting. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of numismatics, this coin is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating and valuable pieces to look out for in your collection. So, if you ever come across an Illinois 1918 Kennedy half dollar, take a moment to appreciate not just its beauty, but the wealth of history and the potential value that it holds. Top 2. The Kennedy half dollar, minted as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, is one of the most well-known coins in the United States. However, there's a specific version of this coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar. Produced to commemorate the nation's bicentennial, this coin is more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of America's rich history and enduring legacy. In 1976, the United States marked 200 years of independence from Great Britain, and to celebrate, the U.S. Mint issued special bicentennial coins. These included a unique redesign of the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins. The Kennedy half dollar, in particular, underwent a redesign for this occasion, with a reverse side featuring a bold depiction of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both the nation's past and its future in space exploration. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar became one of the most popular commemorative coins ever issued by the U.S. Mint. However, while millions of these coins were struck, the number of truly rare and valuable examples is much smaller. Most of the coins from this issue were mass-produced and circulated, making them relatively common. But, as with any coin series, there are a few key factors that determine a coin's true worth, and some of these bicentennial half dollars are worth a lot more than you might expect. The value of the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar largely depends on the coin's condition, rarity, and specific characteristics. While many of these coins are worth only their face value of 50 cents, others, particularly those in pristine condition or with rare minting errors, can command significantly higher prices. This is where it gets interesting, because some of these coins have become highly sought after by numismatists, collectors, and even investors looking for valuable pieces to add to their portfolios. For instance, coins that were never circulated, also known as uncirculated coins, are among the most valuable. These coins have been preserved in exceptional condition, with no wear or scratches that would lower their grade. Additionally, coins with minting errors, like double strikes, misprints, or off-center designs, can fetch much higher prices than those with no flaws. These rare errors happen during the minting process and make the coin a unique and desirable item for collectors who appreciate such anomalies. But the real showstopper when it comes to the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar is the 1976 S-proof coin. The S stands for the San Francisco Mint, where these coins were struck, and these proof versions were produced in limited quantities. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, with a higher level of detail and a mirrored finish that makes them stand out. The 1976 S-proof Kennedy half-dollar, particularly those with a deep cameo finish, has become one of the most prized of all the bicentennial coins. So, just how much is the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar worth? The answer is a bit complex, as values can vary greatly depending on the coin's condition and rarity. However, some of the highest graded, rarest versions of this coin have been known to sell for incredibly high prices. In recent years, a well-preserved example of the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar has fetched up to $87,000. That's right, $87,000. This price is a reflection of not only the rarity and condition of the coin but also the demand for these bicentennial collectibles. The combination of historical significance, unique design, and scarcity of certain varieties has led to this impressive market value. For those who are lucky enough to find a high-quality specimen, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar can be an incredible investment. If you happen to come across one of these coins in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar is more than just a piece of currency. It's a piece of American history that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors around the world. And for those who are fortunate enough to own one in exceptional condition, it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Top 3. We're going to take a closer look at a specific year in the series, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that might not seem particularly rare at first glance but holds some surprising value for those who know what to look for. When the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was minted, it marked a major shift in U.S. coinage. After years of using 90% silver for half-dollars, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition for most circulating coins, including the Kennedy half-dollar. This change came in response to the rising cost of silver, which had made producing silver coins unsustainable. As a result, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, like most coins after this date, is composed of 40% silver on the inside, with a copper-nickel-clad outer layer. But despite this composition, it still carries the weight of history and craftsmanship. While the 1971 half-dollar was produced in large numbers, the real value lies in the condition of the coin. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, like other coins from this era, can range from common, circulated coins worth only face value, to rare examples in exceptional condition that can command significant prices. This is the beauty of numismatics. Every coin tells a story, and the rarer versions become valuable pieces of history. One of the most significant factors that can increase the value of the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is its grade. Coins that have been well preserved, with no visible wear, scratches, or other imperfections, are highly prized by collectors. Professional grading companies assign a numerical grade to coins based on their condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar in mint state 67 or higher, where the coin looks almost brand new, is a perfect example of how a seemingly common coin can have extraordinary value. But it's not just about high-grade examples. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar also has special meaning for collectors because it was one of the first coins in a new era of U.S. coinage. It was part of a transition away from the classic silver-backed coins of the past, making it a key part of the story of American currency. It's this combination of historical significance and rarity that makes certain examples of the 1971 half-dollar worth so much. When it comes to pricing, many people are surprised to learn just how much a well-preserved 1971 Kennedy half-dollar can fetch. While most of these coins are worth only a few dollars in typical circulated condition, there have been instances where high-grade versions of the coin have sold for far more. In fact, depending on the exact condition and the rarity of the coin, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar has been known to sell for as much as $98,000. That's right, $98,000. This value doesn't come out of nowhere. It reflects the rarity of coins in mint condition and the growing demand among collectors who seek out these historical pieces. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, particularly those in near-perfect condition, has become a symbol of numismatic excellence and a true treasure for those who understand its worth. So, what does all of this mean for you if you're a collector or someone just getting into the world of coin collecting? It means that the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is worth paying attention to. If you come across one in excellent condition, it's worth taking the time to have it professionally graded. A small investment in getting your coin assessed could turn it into a significant financial gain if you're holding on to a rare gem. In conclusion, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar may have started as a standard coin in U.S. currency, but it has evolved into something much more. With its historical significance, its role in the shift to clad coins, and the potential for rare, high-grade examples, it's a coin that deserves a second look. And for those who happen to possess a rare version of this coin, you might be sitting on a valuable piece of American history, worth as much as $98,000. Top 4. The Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that's been a staple of U.S. currency since 1964, continues to intrigue collectors and investors alike. While most people recognize the familiar face of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, few are aware that certain years in the series are worth far more than others. Among them is the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that may seem fairly ordinary at first glance but holds some incredible value for those who know where to look. 1972 was an interesting year in American history. The country was deep into the space race, the Vietnam War was still ongoing, and Richard Nixon was in the middle of his first term as president. It was also the year when the U.S. Mint struck millions of Kennedy half-dollars, part of an ongoing effort to maintain the circulation of half-dollar coins. But despite the large mintage of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, a few rare varieties have emerged, making this seemingly common coin highly sought after in the world of numismatics. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, like many coins from this period, is made of 40% silver, a composition that was used from 1965 to 1970 before the mint switched to a full copper-nickel clad version in 1971. Because of its silver content, the 1972 coin holds intrinsic value even just based on its metal composition. However, it's the rare and unique varieties of this coin that make it truly valuable. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar worth so much? The answer lies in its condition and the presence of certain rare characteristics. Most of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollars were produced for general circulation, which means they were handled and worn by the public. As a result, many of these coins have been heavily circulated, with scratches, dings, and other signs of wear. However, there are specific examples that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins, with little to no signs of wear, are what collectors covet the most. But the value doesn't end there. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is also famous for a particular minting error, an error that has made it one of the most exciting finds for numismatists. Some coins from the 1972 mintage were struck with a rare double die obverse, where the image of Kennedy's face is more prominent than it should be, creating a doubled effect. This doubling occurs due to a misalignment during the minting process and is not an intentional feature. These double die varieties are extremely rare and can significantly increase the value of the coin. If you're lucky enough to find a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with this double die error, it can be worth many times more than a standard version. In addition to the double die error, there's another factor that makes certain 1972 Kennedy half-dollars particularly valuable: graded examples in near-perfect condition. When a coin is carefully preserved and has minimal contact with the outside world, it maintains its sharp details and lustrous surface, which is highly prized by collectors. Coins that are graded as MS65 or higher are considered excellent, and those in MS67 or above are especially rare. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. You might be wondering how much the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is actually worth. While most circulated versions of the coin are worth only a few dollars above face value, certain high-grade, error-free, or uncirculated specimens can sell for a staggering amount. In fact, a pristine example of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, especially one with the double die error, has been known to fetch as much as $95,000. Yes, that's $95,000. This remarkable price reflects the rarity of the coin and the growing interest in collecting high-quality examples from this era. Coins like the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, especially those in exceptional condition or with unique characteristics, are not just valuable for their silver content but also for the history they represent and the story they tell. They are not just pieces of currency, they are tangible connections to a pivotal time in American history, from the moon landing to the changing tides of the U.S. economy. If you happen to stumble upon a 1972 Kennedy half dollar, whether it's in your pocket change or in an old collection, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look at its condition, check for any errors, and consider having it professionally graded. You might be holding onto a coin worth far more than you imagined. In conclusion, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar may seem like a relatively common coin at first glance, but its value can skyrocket depending on its condition, rare minting errors, and the increasing demand from collectors. And for those fortunate enough to find a well-preserved, error-free version, you might just be holding onto a coin worth as much as $95,000. Top 5. The Kennedy half dollar has become an iconic coin in U.S. history. First introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, this coin continues to captivate collectors, investors, and numismatists alike. While many of the Kennedy half dollars are well known for their design and symbolism, it's the rare varieties from certain years, like the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, that have collectors buzzing. Now, at first glance, you might think that the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is just another regular coin, especially since millions of these coins were minted for general circulation. However, like so many coins in the world of numismatics, there's more to this piece of history than meets the eye. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar is a coin that holds significant value for those who know what to look for. In 1973, the U.S. Mint continued the trend of producing half dollars with 40% silver content. Though this was a shift from the 90% silver composition used in earlier years, it still meant the coin retained some intrinsic value due to the silver. Despite the significant amount of these coins that were produced, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, like many other coins, holds hidden potential for a much higher value depending on its condition and specific characteristics. When considering the value of the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, one of the most important factors is the coin's condition. Over the years, many of these coins circulated heavily, leading to wear, scratches, and loss of detail. However, there are examples that have survived in pristine condition, uncirculated coins that appear as if they were just minted yesterday. These coins, free from the usual signs of circulation, are far more valuable than their worn counterparts. The higher the grade, the more desirable the coin becomes. A coin graded in MS65, mint state 65, or higher can see a significant increase in value, and if it reaches MS67 or higher, the price can skyrocket. But condition alone doesn't always tell the whole story. For collectors, it's also about rarity and uniqueness. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar was produced in massive quantities, so finding one in mint condition isn't necessarily a rarity in itself. However, certain coins from this year were struck with subtle errors during the minting process, which can make them incredibly valuable. For example, some 1973 Kennedy half dollars were minted with slight double strikes, where the coin's image was stamped twice, creating a doubled effect that is quite rare to find. Double strikes are a form of minting error that happens when the coin is struck more than once, often at slightly different angles, resulting in a misalignment. These coins are not only fascinating due to their imperfection but also highly sought after by collectors. If you happen to find a 1973 Kennedy half dollar with a double strike, or even other minting errors like an off-center strike or a die crack, you could have a rare and valuable piece on your hands. As with many other valuable coins, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar has its place in the growing trend of interest in U.S. coinage. The Kennedy half dollar series has always been a favorite of collectors, partly due to its historical significance. The coin was designed by the famed artist Gilroy Roberts, and its release just months after Kennedy's tragic assassination gave it an emotional weight that few other coins in American history can claim. This connection to the late president, coupled with its unique design, means that the Kennedy half dollar will always have a special place in the hearts of Americans and collectors worldwide. Now, when it comes to the actual worth of the 1973 Kennedy half dollar, it's essential to look at the highest quality examples. While most circulated versions are worth only a few dollars above face value, those that are in pristine, uncirculated condition or feature rare minting errors can command incredible prices at auctions or among private collectors. And if you happen to have a near-perfect specimen, whether it's uncirculated or one with a double strike error, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than you might expect. In recent years, high-quality examples of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar have sold for as much as $92,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $92,000. This price reflects the rarity of coins in excellent condition, the value of error coins, and the growing interest in Kennedy half-dollars as collector's items. For anyone serious about coin collecting, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar represents both a solid investment and a fascinating piece of American history. If you happen to find one of these coins, especially in excellent condition or with an error, it's definitely worth taking a closer look and potentially getting it graded. You could be sitting on a rare treasure, one that might just be worth $92,000. Top 6. The Kennedy half-dollar has been a symbol of American history and numismatic fascination for decades. Minted to honor the memory of President John F. Kennedy, this coin has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history buffs alike. While many versions of the Kennedy half-dollar are well known, there's one specific year that stands out for its unique place in U.S. coinage: the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar. While it may seem like a relatively modern issue compared to its predecessors, the 1981 coin holds more value than you might expect, especially if you know what to look for. The year 1981 is often remembered for significant events, from the inauguration of President Ronald Reagan to the ongoing space exploration efforts. However, it also marked a crucial time in U.S. coinage, as the Kennedy half-dollar continued to evolve. After years of fluctuating silver content, by 1981, the Kennedy half-dollar was struck entirely in a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning there was no longer any silver content in these coins. This shift came after the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in regular circulation coins in 1970 due to rising silver prices and the increasing cost of production. So, the 1981 half-dollar is an example of the standard copper-nickel-clad version, which was much more affordable to produce but still retained the iconic design of President Kennedy on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. At first glance, the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar may seem like just another ordinary coin. It was produced in large quantities to meet the demand for circulating coinage, which means millions of these coins were minted. In fact, there are more than 100 million 1981 Kennedy half-dollars out there. With such a large mintage, it would be easy to assume that these coins are relatively common and not worth much. However, in the world of coin collecting, rarity isn't always just about how many coins were made. Sometimes, it's about the specific characteristics that make a coin stand out. One of the key factors that make the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar interesting to collectors is its relatively low mintage compared to earlier years. While it's true that millions were produced, the coin was never widely circulated as the half-dollar began to fall out of everyday use. In fact, half-dollars from the 1980s often sat untouched in rolls or bags, which has helped preserve a good number of them in near-perfect condition. This means that many 1981 Kennedy half-dollars are in excellent shape, especially compared to older coins that have seen decades of circulation. But, as with any collectible coin, the real value comes in the rarity of the coin's condition. Most of the 1981 half-dollars that have been circulated show visible wear and tear from being handled, which lowers their value significantly. However, coins that were kept in mint condition, stored properly, and avoided the wear of everyday use, can fetch a much higher price. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly one that has been graded well by a professional grading service, can be quite valuable to collectors. In addition to the condition, certain 1981 Kennedy half-dollars were specially struck for collectors in proof or uncirculated sets. These sets were made with higher quality standards, resulting in coins with sharp details, mirror-like finishes, and a level of craftsmanship that makes them stand out. Proof coins, which are made using specially polished dies and struck with more pressure, are highly sought after by numismatists. If you come across a 1981 Kennedy half-dollar in one of these special sets, you could be holding on to something worth far more than the typical circulated version. Another factor that can significantly increase the value of the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar is the rarity of certain die varieties. The minting process is a complicated one, and occasionally errors occur. These errors can include things like double strikes, misaligned dies, or other anomalies that happen when the coin is being stamped. If you're lucky enough to find a 1981 Kennedy half-dollar with a notable minting error, it could command a premium price among collectors who specialize in era coins. Now, let's talk about the actual value of the 1981 Kennedy half dollar. As previously mentioned, most of these coins are relatively common and only worth a few dollars above face value. But for collectors who find a well-preserved, uncirculated version, the value can increase dramatically. High-grade coins, particularly those that are part of special proof or uncirculated sets, can fetch much higher prices at auction. However, the real showstopper comes when you find an exceptionally rare specimen, one that has been well preserved over time or is an era coin. In fact, the most valuable 1981 Kennedy half dollars have been known to sell for as much as $78,000. That's right, $78,000. This impressive figure is a reflection of the coin's rarity in such high-quality condition and the demand among serious collectors. The 1981 Kennedy half dollar, like many coins from the 1980s, is often overlooked by the casual observer, but for those with a trained eye, it can be a goldmine. Whether it's a coin that was preserved in pristine condition or one with an unusual minting error, the 1981 Kennedy half dollar can be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you come across a 1981 Kennedy half dollar in your collection or find one in your pocket change, take a moment to examine it closely. If it's in excellent condition, or you notice any unusual features, you could be holding on to a piece of American history worth far more than you ever imagined. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just getting started, the 1981 Kennedy half dollar is one coin that should definitely be on your radar. After all, it could be worth as much as $78,000. Top 7. The Kennedy half dollar is one of the most iconic and enduring coins in U.S. history, honored for its tribute to President John F. Kennedy and its striking design. Though the coin has been around since 1964, there are certain years in the series that stand out as particularly valuable, especially among collectors. One such year is the 1983 Kennedy half dollar. While the coin may seem like just another modern piece of currency, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. For those in the know, the 1983 Kennedy half dollar has become a sought-after collectible, and you might be surprised by just how much it's worth. The 1983 Kennedy half dollar was part of the continued production of these coins in a time when the U.S. Mint was focusing on durability and low-cost production. Like many of the half dollars minted after 1970, the 1983 version was composed of a copper-nickel clad composition. This means that the coin no longer contains silver, a change that was made to combat rising metal costs. While this made the coin much less expensive to produce, the Kennedy half dollar retained its historical significance, with President Kennedy's profile on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. However, despite its mass production, the 1983 coin holds some special qualities that make it stand out from the rest. One of the factors that can make the 1983 Kennedy half dollar valuable is its condition. After all, like any collectible, the state of preservation plays a key role in determining the value of a coin. Most 1983 Kennedy half dollars, having been in circulation for decades, are likely to show signs of wear, scratches, fading, and general aging. These are the coins that you might find in a coin jar or in circulation, but they aren't likely to command much more than face value. However, if you happen to find one of these coins that has been well preserved, perhaps one that was kept in a collection or never circulated, you could be holding on to a valuable piece. What makes the 1983 Kennedy half dollar especially intriguing to collectors is the scarcity of coins in high-grade, uncirculated condition. Coins that were stored carefully in mint sets or left untouched by circulation often remain in pristine condition, making them much more desirable. A coin that is graded MS65 or higher can be considered a high-grade example, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have survived decades in such fine condition. The more pristine the coin, the higher the price it can command at auctions and from serious collectors. However, it's not just about condition, it's also about rarity. In any series of coins, there are always certain varieties, errors, or unique characteristics that set some pieces apart from the rest. The 1983 Kennedy half dollar is no exception. While there aren't any major minting errors for this particular year, subtle die varieties or slight differences in the strike can make a coin much more valuable. For instance, a coin with a particularly sharp strike or a minor minting anomaly could catch the eye of collectors who specialize in such details. And though these variations are rare, they can increase the value of the 1983 Kennedy half dollar by a significant margin. But perhaps one of the most important reasons the 1983 Kennedy half dollar is worth so much has to do with its place in history. By the early 1980s, the Kennedy half dollar was no longer a widely used coin. It had become more of a collector's item, with the general public using smaller denominations for everyday purchases. As a result, fewer of these coins were actually in circulation, meaning that the ones that remained in pristine condition are now much rarer than they might seem at first glance. If you're fortunate enough to come across a well-preserved, high-quality 1983 Kennedy half-dollar, you could be sitting on a significant find. While most of the 1983 coins are worth no more than their face value, 50 cents, there are examples of this coin that can fetch truly impressive amounts in the right condition. The 1983 Kennedy half-dollar, especially one that is uncirculated or has been graded highly by a professional service, has been known to sell for as much as $72,000. That's right, $72,000 for a coin that was originally minted as a regular piece of U.S. currency. This price reflects the rarity and desirability of the coin in high-grade condition. The demand for high-quality examples of the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar has grown over the years, as collectors and investors seek to complete their collections with the best possible specimens. And for those lucky enough to own a coin in exceptional condition, it can be an incredibly rewarding investment. So, the next time you come across a 1983 Kennedy half-dollar, take a moment to inspect it closely. If it's in great condition, or you notice any unusual details, it may be worth more than you initially thought. Whether you're an experienced collector or just someone interested in coinage, the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar is a reminder that even the most seemingly ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value. With its historical significance, rarity, and potential for finding a high-quality specimen, the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar is one coin you definitely want to keep an eye on, because it could very well be worth $72,000.